Hey, welcome back, comic fans. It's Mr. Q Comics back with some more show and tell. Okay, today I've got a good stack of books here. This is actually going to be everything that I picked up in the month of March. I did not hit a ton of spots. I was able to hit a few different locations while I was traveling for work in a few different states. So before I dive into the books, guys, if you're a fan of haul videos, do me a favor, go down below, hit the like button, hit subscribe, leave me some comments, let me know what you think about these books. All right, we will start off with a shop in New Jersey. This is Zap Comics. I believe they have two locations, and I'm forgetting the city this one is in. I have to say this shop was one of the more fairly priced shops I've been into. I thought everything was actually priced, at or a little bit under FMV. It wasn't kind of that huge markup I see at a lot of LCSs. So there wasn't a lot of negotiating to be had, but they do offer like a discount card where you get like a certain amount off every dollar you spend. So I thought the prices were really reasonable on pretty much all their back issues. So I was able to pick up a few books that these I had once and sold before, but we've got some Wolverine. We've got issue number 69. This is the Old Man Logan storyline. When I first got back into collecting in 2015, I think this was the first storyline I picked up in trade. So I kind of felt like getting this series again. This is not a huge book. Some of the covers are more sought after. Here's issue number 70. Story by Mark Millar. Art by Steve McNiven. The first issue, I think, what is it, 66? I think that goes for the most. I think that's probably like a $20 book, something like that. This is a cool cover. Issue 71. And all of these were, I thought, affordable. They were all $5 is what it worked out to. And they're mostly VF near mint to near mint range. Here's another one of the more popular covers. You get the Red Skull and the Captain America suit there in issue number 72. So I thought those were cool, and this is just straight up, I thought it was an awesome cover. This is not an expensive book at all. I'm sure this is something you can find in the dollar bins, but Wolverine, number 75. Just a very cool cover by Lionel Francis Yu from 2009. This was only $2, and I thought the cover was awesome, so I picked it up. All right, next we got some J. Scott Campbell. This was one I didn't have. It is from Dynamite and IDW. You've got Danger Girl and the Army of Darkness. Number 1, this is the Dynamic Forces incentive variant. This was $5, and this is near mint shape, so it's probably like nothing huge. Maybe a $10 book on eBay, but I thought that was pretty cool. Campbell cover I did not have. And then a few Catwoman books with Hughes covers that I did not have. We've got issue number 44 and 63. So these are just ones I was missing. He did a huge run on Catwoman, just like he did with Wonder Woman, so there's some fantastic covers in there. I am still the mugshot cover. I think that is issue number 51. That one continues to elude me, but they did have a copy of issue number 70, which is probably the second most sought after cover. This, I forget the other. There's 3 of them that are kind of got the, we'll call it the full frontal shot here from the classic from Adam Hughes, with 51 being the most sought after. This one's pretty expensive. This is in decent shape. It's probably VF near mint range, and it was $40, which I thought was priced pretty reasonably compared to what I see on eBay. So I very much like that shop. I was able to hit up their other location, a separate trip that I'll show off later on. All right, next I hit up a couple of antique shops. I can't remember. I was in Western New York, so I hit up 2 shops. This one was Henrietta Antique Mall, I think. And I was only able to grab 2 books here. First, we've got Tales to Astonish, number 90. This antique shop was kind of the classic antique shop. Everything really overpriced, but this was fairly affordable. This is beat up. Of course, it's the first appearance and origin of Abomination. Jack Kirby cover with Vince Colletta on the inks, which is not my favorite, but this one's from 1967, probably in the good range, and it worked out to $23, which I thought was pretty reasonable for this book. And finally, this was just one for the PC. Probably paid a little bit too much for this based on the condition. It's in probably the VF range, but we've got Voltron, number 1 from Modern Comics. This is the first comic book appearance of Voltron. Pure nostalgia for me. I don't know why. I still don't have this one. I love collecting all the 80s nostalgia books, stuff I grew up with as a kid. I guess Voltron I remember watching, but it wasn't like my favorite. I would watch it periodically. It wasn't on as much as, Transformers and G.I. Joe. And I don't think I ever had the complete Voltron toy. which is odd, but cool nonetheless. I think this was like 29 bucks is what I marked it down as. So okay on that. Not huge. It was one of those situations where I'd hit up a couple of antique shops and just was like, you ever go in the shop and you're not finding much success and you just are you want to buy something. So I think it was that case, but still pretty happy with that. And finally, I thought this was a great pickup. This is a different antique shop. This was the Ontario Mall Antiques Corporation. They had a ton of books in here, if I recall correctly. Ton of vendors with comics, really highly priced. So I only found one good deal. We've got Conan the Barbarian, $242. This I've never come across this. I've never found it in dollar bins. I find the McFarlane one quite a bit, which is $241. But this is a really expensive book in high grade. This is a newsstand copy. This one's probably in the VF range. Got it for 10 bucks, which I thought was a great deal. I checked last GPA on a 9.8 newsstand, and this book was 425 bucks. So crazy how expensive that book is. I didn't realize it went for that much, but really happy to find that one. I did not have it in the PC, so stoked to find that for 10 bucks. I thought that was great. All right, next I am going to show off one slab I picked up. I'm going to adjust the stand and the camera a little bit to fit this, if I can. So I hit up one shop in Rhode Island, I think, and this was the Time Capsule. And I found one slab that I thought was really priced well. We've got Daredevil, $158. This is the first Frank Miller on the Daredevil title. Of course, the first Frank Miller Daredevil art is Spectacular Spider-Man. Drawing a blank, 27. So this I thought was a really affordable copy. It's an 8.5. It's got white pages. I got a copy last year that's super beat up, but he had this at, I think this was like 75 bucks. So I thought that was a really affordable price. He had a ton of other books, but again, thought the pricing was really high. So this was the lone book I walked out with. So very happy with that. I thought it was a great price. I think I looked up the last 8.5 and I think it sold for like 125, maybe a little more. So good deal on that. Really happy to have that one. All right. Next, we will venture to Atlanta, or some town right next to Atlanta. So I hit up sorry, going to adjust the camera a little bit. I hit up a small used bookshop called the Book Nook, and I can't remember the town. Did not have a ton of books. It was mostly used books, and I think they had records. It was kind of an eclectic place, really interesting. But they had a handful of books, and they had a few key books behind the counter, so I was able to pick this small stack up for 200 bucks, which I thought was a pretty good deal. We will start with Captain Marvel Jr., number 101. Low grade. It's got a lot of water staining. It's definitely in the good range. This is from Fawcett, 1951, and based on the price they had on what I paid overall, it worked out to like 27 bucks. So I thought that was a good price. And again, a lot of the stuff was kind of overpriced, but these few I thought were priced really reasonably. I'm always a sucker for this one. Punisher number 1, the limited series, is the direct edition. This is just awesome Mike Zeck cover. Love Mike Zeck, and this is one of his classic covers. Of course, it's the first solo series from 1986. Really expensive and high grade as well. This is still a pricey book. Last sale for a 9.8 of this was 829 bucks, which was probably just a few weeks ago. I don't know what platform, but I just checked that on GPA. I was shocked this one goes for that amount of money. But classic Zeck cover nonetheless, and this one was also only like 27 bucks, which was a great price, I thought. Next, we have got another book I've never come across, but we've got Sensational She-Hulk number 34. This is one of those sought-after John Byrne covers. This is, of course, a parody of the Demi Moore Vanity Fair cover from the 90s. This is from 1991. 27 bucks on this as well. This is definitely really sharp copy, near mint range. What's the big one? The big one is her with the, I think it's the jump rope cover. I think it's issue number 40. That one is really pricey, but there's a few of these Byrne covers that are still really expensive. So I thought 27 bucks for this in near mint shape was a great deal. So happy to have that one. Back to the nostalgia. This is a book that I already have, but I thought this was a pretty decent price. This one's in VF range. We've got Transformers number 1. It is the first print. It looks great from the front, but it's got like a 1-inch crease on the back. So Of course, first appearance of the Autobots and the Decepticons from 1984. Man, expensive book as well. Still, last GPA in a 9.8, over $1,100. I checked some of the prices in the pandemic era for this, and holy cow, this thing was going for like 2,000, 2,500. I think I saw sales over $3 for a 9.8 of this book, which is absolutely mind-blowing to me. I am still shocked this is a $1,000 book in the 9.8. I love all the 80s nostalgia, but man, $1,000 for this book in a 9.8 is crazy. But I was happy. I think it was $53 for this, so happy with that. And finally, this was the pickup of the shop. I couldn't believe this one was priced where it was. It is a beautiful copy of Secret Wars #8. Again, awesome Mike Zeck artwork. Who doesn't love this cover? You've got the origin of the symbiote. You've got the orange backdrop. 1984 from Mike Zeck. This one, this is what's mind-blowing. The last GPA sale of a 9.8 for this is $421. This thing peaked at a little over $1,000 in early 2022, and I'm just blown away that the Punisher #1 is $1,000 book still, or $800 book in a 9.8, and this is about a $400 book. That blows my mind. I think it's an awesome. The Punisher book is awesome, but I would definitely think the Secret Wars 8 would be more expensive. But it is what it is. This book has come down a ton, but still a beautiful copy. I think it was like, I think he had it at like $75 is what he was asking for it. So when I bundled everything together, it worked out to less than $70, and it is a sharp copy. I think it's got a shot at a 9.6 or a 9.8. So stoked about that one. All right, final 2 books of March. This was a shop I'd never been to. Forgetting where it was. Mint Collectibles, I believe. I think this was somewhere in Massachusetts. I had never been there. Really cool shop. Really nice guy. Really clean. Had a ton of books on the wall. A lot of it was priced super high, and he kind of said up front, look, a lot of the stuff I priced during the pandemic, so I'm flexible on pricing. I was looking for Golden Age at the time. He had one on the wall, and he had one tucked behind the counter that he was willing to part with, which we will start with. I think somehow L.B. Cole came up in the conversation, and he pulled out this. It's not even a comic. It's a rare book. I think it's rare. Maybe it's not that rare. It's the Complete How-To Book of Space. It's got this really cool L.B. Cole cover. This is like some sort of activity book from 1953. I don't know who did this. The only reason I even knew this book is I was at a comic show last year, and another guy on Instagram I happened to meet there, and he pulled this book from a booth we were at. So I think I showed this off on Instagram when I got it, but really cool. I could not find a lot of details on this book. I couldn't find a lot of eBay sales. It's tough to find. I can't find any info on it in all the comic resources I use because it's not a comic book. It's an activity book, but still really cool book. I kind of bundled this with the next book, so I have it. It worked out to about $137. It's in the VG range. I thought that was a fair price. I had no idea what it was worth. He didn't really know what it was worth because neither of us could find a lot of details on it. But happy to add that to the L.B. Cole collection. And this was the book on the wall. I walked by this a couple times, and finally it took like the third pass to realize it was up there. But it's a very cool Wally Wood cover. Mask of Dr. Fu Manchu. And I believe this is the US version. There's also a Canadian version. I think the back cover has a different ad. This is Avon 1951. You've got a cool Wally Wood bondage cover. So this is in the good range. I think, I can't remember what he was asking for this, but I got both for $400. So it worked out to like $313. He must have had this for like $400 or something like that. So I thought it was a really cool cover here. Don't know what this is worth. Again, having trouble finding recent sales on this, so I think it was a good deal. Really tough. I could not find, recent sales in the good range. There wasn't a ton on eBay. All the GPA sales are old, so I don't know how many copies of this there are out there. I haven't seen it ever before. I had never seen it. I just happened to walk by it a few times and then recognize it was Wally Wood. So really happy to find that. I think it's an awesome cover and happy to add that to the Golden Age collection. So that is it for the haul, guys. Again, if you're a fan of these types of videos, do me a favor, go down below, hit the like button, hit subscribe, leave me some comments, and I'll see you soon.